Hello and welcome to this FileMaker webinar. We're hosting the webinar today around service companies and how we can help. With me today is Gary Thompson from Computech. I'll be introducing him in a second, and he'll take you through the webinar. So just some housekeeping. So hopefully you can hear us okay, but if you're having any other issues or you can't hear us very well, please go through to the help.citrix.com, contact us and see if Citrix can help. As we're going through, I'll be mainly silent, and I'll pick up a few things and have a discussion with Gary if necessary. But mainly I'll be silent, but I'll be answering your questions and answering any question you've got through the GoToMeeting control panel that you should have with you. You can see the little picture there telling you how to do that. So please do put your questions in there, and we'll bring people on live. If you've got a microphone, if you can speak, we'll bring you on. If not, I'll ask your question for you to Gary at the end. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Gary, and he'll take you through.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Gary Thompson, and I'm the CEO of Computech, based in the southwest of the UK, just close to Plymouth. A lovely area if ever you want to come down here. But basically, just getting straight into it, who are we? Basically, we were established in 1991, and we've been developing FileMaker solutions since 1993. Well, FileMaker Platinum partner, have been for quite some time, so we work closely with FileMaker, and we help to improve the product, and they help us as well with giving some nice products. We've got 22 developers in-house, which they specialize in FileMaker and the associated web technologies that FileMaker supports, which is quite nice. Our main aim is to build complex business systems, ERP systems, which we sell all over the world, and we also in one particular product we have is a plugin that enhances the capabilities of FileMaker Pro. We also have in-house project managers that can help with customer projects, because most of them tend to be quite complex. Okay, service businesses, basically there are a lot of them around, especially in this country, but you probably don't realize how many service businesses there are, whether somebody is coming out to fix your washing machine, or somebody is coming out to look after your fire alarm system, or your air conditioning system, plumbing needs. These are all service businesses. So basically any business that has a team that performs a service on site is classified as a service business. And these people need to provide quotes and to process orders, schedule resources, and these resources may very well be people, they may very well be objects, so they could be living or dead. And also we need to talk to those remote resources if they are capable of communication, and pass information backwards and forwards, whether it be for customer information or simple instructions of how to carry out the task in hand. And that is what most of the service engineers would do. They perform on-site repairs and installations. We also need to collect data from these remote resources, and all different types of data, which can be signatures, photographs before and after, photographs if you're involved in insurance, which is also a service business. You could have an insurance assessor that comes out and photographs the damage. Well, they need to get that information back to their HQ as soon as possible, and this is all down to services that are provided for remote device access. Okay, what are the common challenges that come along with most businesses? The inefficient processes. I mean, this is pretty general, not just for service businesses as well. scattered information. There's a lot of companies, even large companies, that are using all sorts of different applications, whether it be Word, Excel, or any other business applications and accounting, that they don't actually talk to each other. So this causes a problem. And also a lot of applications are very rigid in the way they work, so they can't actually be melded into something that that is useful for that individual company. Okay, so what does this mean? Well, obviously it's time lost due to email threads, phone calls and texts, and it's the disparate information and the different applications that cause this bit of a headache. And paper forms as well, which are easily lost or damaged, and spreadsheets which are perhaps unique to one person that nobody else has access to. Images and misplaced contracts certainly could create embarrassing problems. So we need to do all of this digitally, and we need centralized data. So this is basically the crux of most of applications. If you can't find the data that you're looking for, this obviously creates an issue which may seem trivial, but once the company starts to get larger, looking for something that somebody had in their hand 6 months ago is going to be nigh on impossible. So to create an environment such as a custom app which can bring all of these elements together, and FileMaker can help us do this. Okay, what is a custom app? Well, it's an app developed for multiple platforms, and it's generally tailored to solve specific business challenges. And as I say, this is may seem very generic again, but there are different ways of doing this. Of course, you can build something totally from scratch, or you can modify an existing structure or solution which may speed up the delivery of your final solution, which is obviously what people want, because the faster you do that, the faster you get your return on investment. How does a custom app help? Well, all of this information that you can see here needs to be brought together. So the data needs to be in one place. And when you say one place, it needs to be accessible so that the end user thinks it's in one place. It may be from different data sources, so it may be that your solution needs to link into other databases and other sources to pull that information together. But as far as the end user is concerned, when they're using the system, it needs to be seen in one place. And this is what we mean by the single app. It's a single app, but it may link to multiple data sources to bring it together. And it can track a word order, a work order, or process from start to finish. Images and data from remote workers, and also satisfy the customer needs while making you more productive in general. So how can FileMaker help? Right, well, basically FileMaker provides probably the most solid and reliable platform around. It's not as well known as we would like, but people who do use it, they generally swear by it, and we've been using it for many, many years, and we wouldn't be using it now if we didn't continue to feel that it was the platform that we could rely on. So it's also the best platform for a novice to build a solution, and sometimes you may have an idea that, oh, okay, well, I'll jump out and build an application myself for this, which is certainly possible in FileMaker. It does provide a rapid application development, or RAD environment, that allows you to create something usable extremely quickly. It also has a widely supported partner network all around the world that can build or provide your business solution, or assist you if you wish to have training to build your own, or you want them to help you lift the weight, some of the weight with the more complex tasks, while you still continue to do it yourself. And of course, FileMaker is used by small and large businesses alike. And when I say large businesses, I'm talking about large multinationals who do use this system. So it's not just a replacement for something like Access, which many people say, and I guess if people, FileMaker developers are out there, they'll probably be cringing when they hear that statement. Okay, should you do it yourself? Okay, well, if you're familiar with the FileMaker Pro environment, and the aim is to produce a simple solution. And basically, absolutely, yes, go for it. There's no doubt about it. There are other elements. If you're not familiar with FileMaker Pro and you'd like to learn how to use it, there's plenty of resources out there provided by FileMaker and, of course, the partner network to help you build it. Then definitely yes. And of course, the other thing is, if your boss tells you to build a database, then you should do as you told them. Definitely build one. If the solution is deemed to be complex and you're running your own business, I guess this is depending on the degree of involvement that you would like in the system, because it does take a lot of time to build, and you would probably need to consult with somebody to determine exactly how far you're able to go on your own. But certainly, that's how I got started with FileMaker, in that I had a business need, and I built a total solution for my business at the time. And it gave me a tremendous amount of satisfaction. It's like being an artist and then having a complete picture at the end that you can look at and be proud of. So yeah, it's a tremendously satisfying feeling when you're building a database yourself. If you're part of a team of internal developers who are considering FileMaker as a platform, then absolutely yes, because FileMaker will integrate with other systems. So although FileMaker is proprietary in its nature, by being proprietary, it means that FileMaker have control over how you can do things, which they've built some nice, easy tools for you to build a solution. But equally, it's flexible, and it will work with all sorts of other technologies directly as well, which is something that that you really should consider. Okay, what are the DIY options? Okay, well, obviously go for it on your own. If you've got the confidence in your abilities and you've got plenty of time available and enjoy the challenge of you creating your own masterpiece, then FileMaker provides you with a selection of templates, for instance, to help you in your initial endeavors. You could also choose one of your local FileMaker partners or even remote partners, because there's plenty of FileMaker partners around who can assist you remotely using tools like GoToMeeting and whatever. And you may even be lucky enough to have a FileMaker partner close enough to be able to visit that can provide you with with personal training, and also they may be willing to come out on site and provide you with that training. One major thing: do not underestimate the time and effort that's required. We've built a little starter app for you which you can download at the end of the webinar, but there's a lot of effort that is required to get a tangible solution built for yourself. So you need to talk to a few people before making the big commitment to build this, because although you might be able to build a list of a few sort of food menus and recipes quite simply, when you're talking about business application and the financial side and managing the workflow and other people entering data that you might need to control how it's entered, you do need to probably speak to somebody before you go ahead with that endeavor. But certainly FileMaker is still the best platform for you to start with, that's for sure. Okay, the other options, well, the building of a custom solution can be expensive, and this just doesn't mean in sort of cash terms of buying the licenses or something like that. But if you're running a business, you've got to consider, your own time and whether your time is best spent running your business, or whether you have enough time to build a custom solution for yourself. And again, it'll help by consulting with a FileMaker partner to discuss your objectives. And even if you call FileMaker UK, they can help you out as well. They'll give you an idea of what is possible, and they'll maybe point you towards somebody who can help you in your area. The other option, of course, is to research and purchase a pre-built FileMaker solution. And of course, because it's been built on FileMaker, it does mean that it gives you the flexibility to either make changes if you have an open version, or if you've bought it from a vendor that provides a very large solution for you, which is very complex, you may wish them to make the changes for you. Okay. Also, right tools for the job, simple as that. If you want to to put a nail in a bit of wood, you wouldn't use a chisel to do that. So you make sure that you use the right tools for the job, and having a database, an application built on a database in the right way that gives you all the functionality you need is the right tool for the job. So how can we help? Well, we've been doing this for more than 25 years now, so we've got considerable experience, and of course we've got a broad range of skills available in-house, which includes the FileMaker development and web development as well. If you're a FileMaker developer, we've also created a plugin called Synergize, which enhances the capabilities of FileMaker Pro. This allows you to use full web technologies within FileMaker, but in this webinar is not about that, but it just gives you an idea of the sort of capabilities that you can push FileMaker Pro through if you have all of the right tools to go for your application. We offer our own system that we've built over many years called Businessman, which is a complete ERP system and also provides all of the service management that we are here to discuss today. So we have the ability to create jobs and to create apps for your remote workers, your remote employees, and to collect data from multiple data sources and present it to the end user in a single entity. This is a customer story about it's a US company as it happens, but they are a service company that had to meet certain challenges, and we were able to compete with a FileMaker based solution against some of the largest players in the world, which is including sort of Microsoft Dynamics, SAP, NetSuite. And we were successful in our bid to provide for this company, MLE Inc. There's a little bit of background about the company. They're based near Chicago, and they basically provide signage and all sorts of other elements involving promotional items for the likes of Starbucks and some major companies. So they're doing about 20,000 installations a year, which is a lot. And they've got multiple locations all around the US. And when they're doing any of these fitments, so if they're actually working with a chain such as the Bank of America or Starbucks, they have thousands. Starbucks, for instance, have thousands of restaurants all around the US, and they don't have thousands of staff, so they have to employ local contractors to be able to do that. So it's important that those local contractors can get the data to them. So this is the sort of work that they carry out: expansions, remodels, retrofits, and whatever. So they're quite a sizable company with a sizable amount of records that are created and a sizable amount of data that's moving around. Okay, now these are just some of their customers, and I don't think there'll be many in there that you haven't actually heard of. So they are pretty much a well-known company in the US. And some of the work that they've carried out, these are some examples. For instance, you've got signage there, you've got bar fitments, you've got clothes shops and things like that where they provide the display areas for those. And they're original, what we would call pain points with the existing systems that they had. Basically, the processes that are used to old technologies. The company was growing faster than they could deal with the paper. The paper was almost catching fire. It was moving through so quick. So they had to find ways of getting around that. And they did have many different applications, including web-based applications, something like, if you've heard of it, called Zen Forms, which allows you to create forms and push them out to mobile devices, collect data, and then it goes back up to the web. But that is a separate application. So they had to take the information from there and put it into some other database that they'd created. So it was very disparate. The on-site engineers were commuting by telephones, and again, they were unable to have a coherent overview of what was going on, and the customer sign-off, although it went into their mobile app, they couldn't get it into their business system or their accounting system. and also the customers were unable to check the status of their product, so they had to basically had to search for an answer. So they spent a considerable time investigating the software solutions, and the things that they found, basically the end-to-end solution that would fit their exact needs would be extremely difficult, and many products from major vendors were extremely expensive, running into huge amounts of money, and they wanted to host it on their own premises. I mean, the cost of some of the applications were looking at like $1 million over about 5 years. So we were looking around to, or they were looking around to see if they could find something that wouldn't be quite so expensive, but give them the flexibility that they needed. In the search for the ERP, they found our Businessman product, and of course, we were able as well to develop cross-platform mobile apps for their engineers and subcontractors, and we already had graphical scheduling of resources, so we can enhance that so they could see at any one time what was going on. We linked it to a project management module so they could see everything that was happening. Multi-level job management as well for costs and manpower allocation. And one very important thing was the ability to for contractors and engineers to take before and after photos, and also get acceptance from the customer. And so what they ended up with was an end-to-end solution which included accounting, all on the same platform, which was extremely useful for them. So they managed to solve the pain with that. So we've built a little app that hopefully you'll be able to show you now, and let's just move this out of the way. There we go. There we go. That's it. I just had to click on it to get there. I hope you can all see that okay. Okay, this is going to be free for your use and available for you to download. And there's some other technologies in here that are sort of not, if you like, native. People wouldn't normally use them straight out of the box in FileMaker. As you can see when we hover over these, this is all web-based. This is all driven by a little web interface, and you'll be able to pull this apart and have a look at it whenever you wish. So for instance, we go to our customers in here. So we look at our customer list, we choose a customer, and we've got all the contacts in the customer here, so we can choose a customer contact and we can see all of their information in here. We can add a photograph and save and close. And we also have other elements in here as well, for instance the estimates. So we can create a new estimate in here, and we can look at existing estimates. So if I click on that, that shows an existing estimate in there. So you'd probably be familiar with it in here. You can choose a new product, and then you can put in your pricing if it's not actually in there. And so you put in a price in there, and whether it's taxable or not, and all of these selections you'll be able to make yourself. So back into the customers here, and we also have invoices. So in here, if we had any invoices in here, we can create a new invoice from scratch in here, and we can also look at the history of invoices. We can look at contracts, which is one of the main elements as well for service management. Contracts, let's just go back, there's some in here. There we go. So in the contracts here under this one, Bridge Court, we can look at a contract. Now this contract is a service schedule. Okay, so basically if you imagine that you're a service engineer and you have to go out once a week or once a month to carry out maintenance or provide signed certificates, safety certificates, things like that, you can actually create something in here. So we can choose the frequency, for instance, which is every week, and we can choose, that's the creation date of it. We can choose a date range, so we could choose October 1st through to, let's say, December 1st, and then what we can do is we can add the schedules to the list, and we create the schedules, and they're all completed now. And what we can do is we can look in the scheduler, and there's a nice graphical scheduler in here for you, so you can see all your schedules in here, and you've got different views. So you have a week view and a month view and a year view, so you can see them all. So if we go into the day view, we can see this schedule. Go into the week view, we can see it in here, and we can also click on it and it will take us to that schedule. In the schedule we have tasks as well, so we can add a task to this schedule. So we can, when we add the task, we can add a resource. So this particular resource, the role is going to be, let's say service. I can, excuse me, I can't see what I'm typing. Service. There we go. That's better. And the resource, we can choose me and save and close. So we've added a resource to it. And we can also add material, which I'm going to show you in a minute. So we can add one, and we can choose a widget, and it's got a cost, and we can save and close. So on here we can get the material costs, and we can get the resources, and we can also adjust the progress of this as well. So a neat little progress bar in here, so it shows you how far it is. You can also have a planned start time in here, as you can see, 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, and it gives you all of your information, for instance, the due date that you have in there. Okay, so back to the schedule. On here you can see the location of it. So that is all down to the address that you put in here. So there's a neat little link there to it. And then there's a schedule report. So you can send by email. So I would just create that and see if it comes up on whichever page. There we go. So you can create that. So if I open that PDF, you'll see what it's created. It's come up on my other screen, so I'm just going to drag it over. So it's created that for you. So you could send, that could be the job sheet, if you like, that you send over to your engineers. Okay, so I won't send that one. I've got nobody to send it to. Or you can just save it as a PDF, or you could print it. And just print it. Don't want to print that. So you also have your stock list. So for instance, we choose a product in here. So we've got test product, and we can add images to this. So you can either drag and drop. I can drag and drop an image directly into here. So if I change this one, just drag this in. There we go. Or what I can do is I can browse to one and insert an image into here. And I can put notes in here. I can put the prices of it in here. So it's very basic, but it's somewhere for you to actually start from, and then you can create a new item from in here. Okay, I think we've been through most of that, but it's free for you to download. And if you do have any questions, do please feel free to contact us, and we'll be putting a little bit more information in this database for you, and some bit of a flow chart. So if you download it today, you can download it again next week, and there'll probably be more in there. So please come back and see us again. The other thing that I'm going to demonstrate to you now is of full-blown application businessman. I won't take you through the whole lot because it's absolutely huge ERP system, but basically it'll just show you some of the technologies that we've used. And as you can see, as I'm moving my mouse around in here, you can see that it's activating the hoverovers. So in here, for instance, I can go and look at my customers. And then I have a different menu on here, so I can look at sales activities, and so I can look at sales orders. So I can also have the ability to drill down into the sale order and look at the line items, or I can go into all line items and I can say, okay, I want to look at all the printers that have been, if I could spell, there we go, all the printers that I'd sold. I can do by a location, by contact, or by dealer. I can look at all my quotes as well in here, and again, if I want to view a quote, I can just click on it and it brings it up. It's very similar, as you can see, to the one that we've already given you. And for instance, in here, this has the ability to bring up the stock record, so I can view that stock record. So if I close that and go back to my customers, so I've minimized it. Mistake. There we go. Back into my customers. We have a My Desk area as well, which is this again is web technologies that we've built within the FileMaker Pro environment, and so you can actually add your own widgets to this dashboard here, and you can have permanent permanent widgets which show you just, for instance, the clients, or you can choose this one here, which is basically a variable window, so that whatever you choose to view in here, it will show in this window. Then you can look at your schedules and your tasks. So I've got my schedules, my schedule here. So for today's date, for instance, I can click on today's date and create a new event. So I can go test, and it's starting date of 13. I won't put much more in there, but there it is. So when I go back to my dashboard and I look at my events, it should bring up, there's my task in there. We've also built a full-fledged email client within the application, so that you can keep all your communications, because again, that's one of the things that that you need to bring all of this data together. The other elements, so you can see there's a lot of graphical parts of this. This is the inventory or the stock, so you can choose an item in here. If I double click on that item, it will bring it up, and I've got all sorts of information about this, like serial numbers, whether it's part of an assembly, whether, because we have multi-company in here, or how many you have, any images, and the text description maybe. So if you have a text description, you can also put that in there as well. Then there's an audit trail showing exactly all the activity that's happened with that item, and the accounting, so all of the different selling prices and how you control the inventory, what you sell it for, and if you link them with accounts, it will link in with QuickBooks, or you can use the integrated accounting system that we have available for Businessman. So there's many different elements to this. Let's see which else. For instance, web viewers can be used for all sorts of different things. Web technology is very strong. So this is a web viewer here. But if I do this one here, which is document management, this one has documents in here. And this is the same web viewer, but because we've rendered it with different web code, it brings up something different. So if I click on this, for instance, I can look at all of the different versions and when they were added, and I can download them. Or I can upload a new one, and it will ask me if it's a major or minor revision. So if I've said minor or whatever, then it will give it a point increase like this one. If I say it's a major, then it will be a 4 or something like that. So we've tried to use as much advanced technologies in here, and that's good that FileMaker allows you to do that. We have a little dashboard in here as well, which gives us a running commentary, if you like, of all of the things that are outstanding for this particular customer. We have a financials dashboard as well, so that can give you an overview of what's going on, so you can see all of your invoices and your sale orders, jobs, and what's going on in your purchasing. And we customize this a great deal for individual customers and as needed. But everything in here is all using pretty much the most advanced technologies. We have HR in here as well, so in human resources you have all your management for all of your staff. We have a user management as well, so when users log in, they've got user groups and security groups in here as well. So for instance, a general user in the client module, they can do all of these things, and we can add and remove privileges from this layout if we wish. And then we have the ubiquitous scheduler in here, which is pretty much, so this one's looking at all, and we can look at a timeline, for instance, in here. So we could look at a 3-month timeline for all of these people and see what's going on. It doesn't look like, oh, there we are, there's a few. So you can see exactly who's doing what at any one time. So again, you can look at a whole year view, and this will bring back all of the appointments for the whole year, and as you hover over them, you can see that you can bring back that information. And the other thing is work in progress and whatever, for instance, jobs. These are all of the jobs that you can work with, and related jobs. So there's all of these that are managed, and the information can be pushed out to engineers. In here you can create your forms automatically, and with these You can create a form which can have a label, a text box, text area, check boxes, images, signatures, and all of these can be pushed out to a mobile device so that you can create them yourself. You don't need us to create the forms for you. You can create them yourself, all within the application as standard. Okay, so job sign off and all of the other elements. We have resources that you can add to jobs as well, which will go on the scheduler. Obviously, costing is very important as well. So all of the job costing, so you can raise POs and you can add items from your inventory into here as well. The other thing is in the sales processes. For instance, we have sale orders. So again, we have, this is a standard FileMaker portal in here, because sometimes FileMaker portals are the best answer for your question, if you like. And so we use FileMaker portals where needed, and we use other technologies where that's needed as well. So in looking at the sale order, we can look at, for instance, a bill of materials, any items that are waiting for allocation. We deal with multi-currencies as well. And there's more options that you can have in here, so we have little menus that pop up and give you that information without having the screen incredibly cluttered. And then we have search capabilities, so we bring up a search which shows you the boxes that you can actually search in as well. So I'll just press the button on that. So reports, lists, all of those sort of things that that you would want in an application that holds it all together. In here, this is I don't know how well you'll see this, but it's recorded, but this is if you like, a flow chart of the a basic businessman sales and cost overview in here. So that's about it from me. I guess if there's any questions, we can take them, Kieran.
Thank you very much, Gary. That was brilliant. So I just wanted to make sure that everyone understood that sort of demo part. So the first part of that demo was the Serviceman application that Gary was showing, and that's available. I've sent you all a link. I'm sure you'll be getting that in a follow-up email as well. But this application Gary's built actually very recently, within the last 3 or 4 weeks. To be available for this webinar, so that you can actually download that, and this is open to, you know, do whatever you wish with. Once you've got a copy of a trial of FileMaker Pro, you can go in this and have a look at how it's built and add to it as you wish. So that was very kind. The second sort of application that Gary was showing was Businessman 7. So that's recently been updated from Businessman 6, launched.
Yeah, it was launched at DevCon. Yeah.
Which is our developers conference over in America in the summer. So that's all new. So again, you can download a link of that if you'd like as well.